We're back again.
Yeah.
Robin and I, we're live. The Art of Living and Dying. And it's about care and compassion for each other. And I started this a little bit ago because a good friend of mine, Charlotte, is the doula for my friend Gail. And Gail is in the last end stages of cancer. And she asked Charlotte to be her doula for dying. And there's always been birth doulas, but the death doulas are also coming together. And it's a really powerful time. Hello, Mansoor. Nice to see you. As we move into this topic tonight, I just want to send good wishes to Gail and all of the community that are around her and surrounding her. She's got a tremendous amount of community, and I think this is. Hello, Iram. Please come in if you'd like. So many people, so many friends have passed during COVID. My friend Gail has cancer, end stage. And then, as I was talking before, Pravin, we did a prayer and we were moving through some areas of, just the ideas of what I've shared for a long time is there's a presence of God in the birth process. When a mother and a father hold a baby in the birth, they hold that presence of God. Like it's just the miracle of birth. It's that miracle. And it's that amazing, wondrous light that happens at birth. And the same thing happens at death. There's this presence of God. There's a presence of, this light, this presence. And it opens us to the gift. Hello, Wahid. Nice to see you. So nice to have you all. Please come on. Pravin put the post here. So we wanted to come on and just share about it because I think what I've shared, Pravin, a lot, and I think you've heard this, between birth and death, somehow we lose this presence of God. And we're not there unless we're in these processes of stopping enough to recognize it. And can we, between the cup of birth and the cup of death, can that cup in between our lives hold us in such a precious way, in such a living water way? Yeah, the living waters, the living waters, So I've been thinking, my cat died 3 days ago, and again I was holding him as he passed, and um, my daughter was just really in the throes of it all. And it was the day I voted, and the day it was just such a big day. It was a day that I was finishing my apartment. And yesterday was my official move-in day, completely here. And I can't say that I am still fully in that presence of God, just like kind of holding space, kind of holding that consciousness. And when I heard Charlotte share today, I said, we need community around us as we die, you know. And Gail, if you're listening, we're here with you. Robin and I are here with you. We love you. And I brought Gail over to meet the whole crew of Rayhan's crew when she was in Marin. I said, come to this gathering with us. We're going to go over to Fyodor's organization. And she met Bert Ola and she met all of those people, And so she's been involved with all of us, not quite in the movement, but she's been involved with Taqwa. She wanted to write Taqwa's book. So she's been in touch with Wahid. And as she passes to the next stage, I spent 5 days with her the week before last, before I started moving. And I need to go over and see her. But I put a lot of different things in place to just advocacy, saying, we need more advocacy. I talked to her doctor, secretary, I talked to, all of her friends. I talked to everyone, and I said, no, she can't be here alone. She needs help. She needs support. So it had advanced a lot compared to when I first, I think she was just diagnosed in April. So it's been pretty quick, and she's in a lot of pain. So I'm glad hospice is involved now, and she's got all of her people to help her now because she's decided that she's in this dying process, letting go, So as we let go, let God, that saying, let go and let God. What is it for you, Pravin, that you're feeling right now? What is it that brings you to this precious moment?
Sure, Mama Lynn. Hello, Amen, Amin, Namaste. I am Dr. PPP. I am 2 times Canadian, 3 times international Guinness World Records author, award-winning author of 6 books. Thank you so much, Mama Lynn, for having me and coming up with amazing, most needed message for you and me and for the world. When we started really the living the way we understand the meaning of death. If we don't understand the meaning of death, we never, ever going to live our life. Buddha, Buddha came and born in as the prince. In his father was a king, and astrologer of his kingdom knew, and let the king know, your son is going to be either the king or either the uh, priest. So as a king father, he wanted his son to be the king. If a father is a doctor, he want his son to be the doctor. Normal nature, like 80-20 rule. 80% people follow like that. So same thing. That king father wanted Buddha to become the priest. Oh, look at that! How cute! So then, he said, man, my son Prince is going to go homeschooling. All the teachers are coming to the palace, man. I'm going to make sure my son is never ever going to see any death or never ever going to see any sickness or nothing. And that way, he grown up. And then one day there was a ritual happens. The prince has to visit the kingdom, and during that visiting in the kingdom through that Cherokee, he saw somebody sick person. He never ever seen sick person in his whole life. So he asked his Cherokee rider, "What's going on?" So he said, "Oh, that person is sick." He would ask, like, "What is sickness?" So then he said, "Yeah, sickness is this, blah blah blah, disease," and like he explained. Okay, then he saw one person very poor, and no clothes, and very poor, very emaciated, very slim. So he asked, like, what's going on? What is that? Because Buddha never seen in his whole life. So that person, Cherokee rider said, "Oh, that's a poor person." He said, What is poor? What is poverty?" Then he explained, yeah. And then, oh, look at so cute, man. Oh my God.
Animals want to come. They just like you
And,
curled up in my lap. They're
yeah.
hearing your voice. They're hearing your voice, and they want to come.
Um,
Who is
um,
this? Who is this one? Who is
and
this one?
finally, Buddha saw the group of people, and they were chanting, and there was one person lying on that deathbed. So he asked, like, what's going on? So he goes, like, Cherokee rider goes, like, that person died. So then Buddha never heard the word dying. So he asked, like, what is dying? What is death? He explained, like, yeah, this is death. That person lived, now, he's no more. He's the dead body now. And he's like, so everybody has to die? Yeah, everybody has to die. Am I going to die? Yes, I'm going to die. You're going to die. Doesn't matter. King, princess, king, queen, poor, rich. And then he started soul searching. Oh my God, like, yeah. He was not scared of death, but he started soul searching, awakening. Like, am I really living my life as a priest? Am I satisfied? Am I happy? Am I joyful? Whatever the question came in his mind. And then his father knew, his king father knew something going on. He is deviating from his way wherever he wanted to be. So then make him married. Said, okay, get married, son. So get married, beautiful wife came. After a couple of years, he got beautiful son, Rahul. His name is Rahul. But still, those already he started the soul searching. And during the soul searching, one night came, middle of the night. Buddha left the palace, Buddha left his wife, Buddha left his son, and went for his soul searching, went for awakening at age 29. So up to 28, no idea what is living, what is death, no idea. And then after that visit of town visit or kingdom visit, within I don't know, maybe within 1 year or 6 months, I don't know the timing, but he is 29, left kingdom and left everything. And this is it. When you detach from your attachment, and that's real journey of awakening, soul searching, enlightenment starts. And then from 20s 29 to age 35, 6 years, Buddha just went to the forest and deserts and whatnot. He fasted so much, he became so emaciated. And one point of life, Buddha started doing the yoga behind the one tree, like below the one tree, and that's it. Whatever the fruits of the tree fell down, small fruits, he used to eat it, and keep himself alive. Otherwise, everything was devoting towards the soul searching, towards the yoga, towards the meditation. Now,
Mm.
yoga and meditation nowadays became so cheap. Like, people do something like stretching, and they say yoga, they say meditation. No, like people don't know what is real meditation, what is real yoga. So then, so it's the extreme form of, like, Buddha was like, eating little bit fruits of the tree, never moving anywhere, nothing, and finally one day he got awakening, he got self-realization. He knew everything, like, who he was, where he's going to go, what is his mission, passion, purpose, vision. So from then age 35, after getting the awakening under that Bodhi Gaya tree, and still in India there is the place, Lumbini one and around that area. I never had a chance to visit, but yeah. So, and from 35 to age 80, 45 years, Buddha just pour his heart and body and mind and soul and awakening of the people, and like that. So, because why Buddha became Buddha, and why you and I and everybody worldwide remembers about Buddha? Because Buddha find out what is death. Buddha found out, like, what is real living after finding out the death, and after awakening and enlightening. So that's one thing. Second, I'll share it to you is, yeah, there is a battleground happening in India, like about 5,000 years ago. I don't know exact years. So there was a fight between two families. One family of 5 brothers, another family of 100 brothers, and their fathers are brothers. So then, one side was the people who are supporting mm, nice karma, great karma. They were on, like, dharma, like, like, yeah. So those are the Pandavas. And the other side, 100 brothers, not all of them are bad, but, like, they had to choose either this side or that side. Sometimes, the teacher has to choose the 100 people side, because that teacher was used to eat from that king of the who has the 100 sons. So even though, teacher doesn't feel good to stay toward 100 side to 100 brothers, but still the teacher has to fight in the favor of the 100 brothers. Even though teacher knew, like, dharma is the opposite side, dharma is with Pandava, dharma is with 5 brothers. Same thing with their Pandava's great grandfather. That grandfather knew, like, dharma is over that side with the Pandava. But even though Bhishma Pita, the great grandfather of Pandavas, knew, but still Bhishma fought with those 100 people against Pandava, because again Bhishma gave promise to himself that whoever become the king of this kingdom, he will be faithful to that king. And because of his promise he given, like, I don't know, 40, 50, 60, 70 years ago, he has to fulfill his promise, and that's why he was against those Pandavas. And then Lord Krishna was a Cherokee rider of one of the Pandava called Arjuna. So when the battleground started, and then Arjuna said, Cherokee rider, Lord Krishna, Messenger Krishna, let's bring this Cherokee in the middle, so I can see exactly from the both side my my side as well as the Kaurava side, the 100 brothers side. So then Lord Krishna asked, like, like, what are you doing, man? We are about to fight. We are ready to fight. And now why did you tell me to do that? Yes, I will do that, whatever you say, because I never use the weapons during the fight. I promise. So Arjuna said, because now there is no doubt that will fight happen or not, because this is happening. So everything, all the doors of negotiation were closed. So yeah. So then finally, okay, Lord Krishna brought the Cherokee in the middle. So now Arjuna sees this side 5 brothers, his brothers. This side is the 100 brothers. And whenever he see opposite side, like his teacher and his grandparents, great grandfather, he was ready to fight. He was ready to kill those Kauravas. And then when he sees that, then Vishad came. Vishad means like, let's say, depression. In today's word, we say depression. But see, Arjun's depression became the yoga. Why? Because Arjuna didn't have any doubt that those 100 people, or those people who are army of those 100 people, they are big army. They are going to kill him. No, he had never ever fear of death by killed by those people. But
Mm-hmm.
one concern he had came, like, how can I kill my cousins? How can I kill my teacher who taught me how to do archery? How can I kill my great grandfather who raised me since my childhood? So he knows my everything in and out. How can I kill them? He's like about like 100 something. How can I kill them? So that's game. So then there are 18 chapters of the Holy Gita. In first chapter, just Lord Krishna listen. Arjuna share his feelings, like, yeah, I felt so depressed, this, that, what not, and this is my concern. I don't have concern that they are going to kill me, but my concern is how can I kill my buddies? They are my buddies. So then this is sage message of the coach. Like, coach is such a coach. You gotta listen to the coachee, you gotta listen to the mentee, because while listening to, like, with the heart, body, mind, and soul. Oh, look at that, hugging guru. um, oh, beautiful, beautiful. Yeah, there is India, there is a priest, hugging lady. What's the name again? Aima? What's the
Amma.
name? Amma. Amma means mother, yeah. So
Amma.
yeah,
Amma took a rose off of her garland and gave to me. So I
oh,
know.
beautiful, yeah. Yeah. So So this is the message for the coach, and coach is like, coach should be listen to the coachee, everything. Let the coachee speak, because when speaking, most of the sorrow will be gone. Because nowadays, or even those days also, everybody is looking for like nice listening ear. Everybody looking for the nice heart, which can that heart in that heart. Oh, nice. Yeah. So very first chapter, Lord Krishna listen, and allow him to speak. And then Lord Krishna shares another 17 chapters, right? In those, mainly Lord Krishna says, like, who are you? He asks him, who are you? So he goes like, I'm Kshatriya. Also he goes like, again, tell me, who are you? He goes like, I'm Panduputra. Also he goes like, who are you? So then she said, ultimately, you're the Kunti Putra, Pandava, and Kshatriya. Ultimately, you are the Kshatriya. And Kshatriya means your goal, you're the fighter. So your goal is to fight for the justice. Oh, oh, wow. Oh, Gandhi. Wow, beautiful.
Francis.
Nice. And Francis, beautiful. So then, yeah. So then what happens is Lord Krishna says about, like, see, you are the Kshatriya. You're you are here to fight. So fight. Don't worry about that. They are going to die. You're going to kill them, this and that. Because whatever you're killing is that you're killing their body. Their soul never dies. Naindam chiddanti sastrani, naindam dahati pavakaha. Your soul is weapon proof, fireproof, airproof, and waterproof. You are the soul. So you are not killing the soul. Soul.
Mm-hmm.
You don't know their past birth. You don't know what are the birth they are going to take after you are going to kill them. So don't worry about that one. Right now, you just do your duty, and your karma is right now doing the karma, which is karma is like in front of you. Those are the enemies. I know those are relatives or whatever, but right now they are in the wrong path, and they deserve the punishment, and that's it. So focus on your karma. So there's a karma yoga. Karma means karma. Whatever you do is the karma, good, bad. According to that, you get the consequences, you get the results. Good karmas give you good results, bad karma give you bad results. Sometimes it takes time, sometimes you get instantly. So depends. Some karmas give you results right away. Some karmas, need time to get the results. Like if I give the exam right now, maybe after 1 month or 2 months I get the results. But you already did the karma. The student did the karma. But according to the system, it will take whatever the time. So yeah, sometimes let's say I slept to let's say sumo guy. If I slept the sumo guy is going to
So we're back down to time. Back down.
come again, Mamalin.
Right, we're back to the idea of timelessness. Timelessness.
Yes, absolutely. So
If
yes, we divide the time into let's say years and months and days and 7 days of week and everything. But actually, time is timelessness. Time is timelessness. To For our understanding, we divide that. So let's say somebody wanna go to work, they know like okay, 2 days weekdays, tomorrow is weekend. So let's say weekend is relaxation or whatever. For our comfort, we divide the time into all these one. But time is timeless. Like yeah, time never die, never it's there. Time is always there,
we
So
hold
yeah.
each other, we kind of hold each other in a linear fashion because the world runs on a linear fashion, right? There's a time.
Mhm.
In the native
Mhm.
tradition, they always say it's Indian time, right? It's timeless. We arrive when it's time. We arrive when it's time. And so I think death and dying is this way. And there's a presence of the unity that happens. And there's a wonderful book by Steve Levine
Mhm.
that I highly recommend for anyone going through just this life. I think it's really important. I don't have it on my shelf. I give books away and then I don't get them back, but I love giving them.
Oh
Good,
yeah.
good to
Yeah, the
give
giver.
books.
Yes.
And but it's a wonderful book to really look. But when I look at the art of dying, what I saw with Charlotte today and Gail in the dying process, Charlotte was really looking at how does community come together, because we all dance and Gail was part of the dance community, and Charlotte was worried that people in the dance community didn't know because we're not dancing because of COVID now. And
Mhm.
so, she put it out there to her community in a larger scale, but it was sweet. She set up an altar for Gail. So I highly recommend if you're moving through a process of, someone dying, definitely set up an altar, set up some ritual space that you pray for this person on a daily ritual, because I think it's important to have that presence, have that presence of another human being. And I feel really blessed to be part of Gail's circle right now.
Mhm.
But we all need to do this for each other. So if you have
Oh, yeah.
someone dying, let Pravin and I know. Let us be part of your community. Let us know that
Yeah.
we can be
Yeah.
part of your process, and through prayer, through community, through connection. My other friend from Maine did this beautiful thing, and she sent it to me. She said, I want to put it out there that I want to send a gift to each of my girlfriends through virtual. And I
Wow.
thought that was so beautiful that, it's like, for me at Christmas, it's the giving tree. It's never been about taking.
Mhm.
We started this when the kids were a little older to realize there was not going to be a name under the tree. We were only giving gifts that were no name, and you had a choice to keep the gift or give it away, right?
Wow.
And
Mhm.
so there's a lot of people do this now in larger families. And when I think about a gift of dying, a gift of the presence of God, the gift of one of the precious moments is after someone dies, gathering together. I mean, I think I'll play my mother's CD this week. She has an amazing CD, and I've been wearing her shirt all week because I've been grieving a lot. This is her
Oh.
shirt. This was her
Wow.
flannel, and
Wow.
I I didn't think about that before I came on, but I've been wearing it a lot, just around the
Oh.
house and unpacking her things. And many of my
Mhm.
things are her things, right? Many of her
Yeah.
things.
Wow.
So much of my house, I would like a more modern type house, but my mother was into antiques and she liked old antiques. So I have all these old antiques and I'm like, I kind of want to let go, but this is Harry. This is Harry. I have a funny story about Harry, and I don't know if you met Harry, but he's my sea captain. And there's this funny story that when my mom died, I went to her house, and she knew that I had conversations through my whole childhood. We always called him the dead grandfather that lived in the attic. And we had a 14-room house growing up, a huge
Wow.
house
Wow.
with 6 fireplaces. But he stood above the same jelly cupboard,
Oh.
I have my mother's mirror that I still need to hang up. But, Harry and I had conversations through my whole life. He was the dead grandfather, right? So my mother
Mhm.
died. My mother died, and I went to her house the day after, right? And she died on her couch.
Mhm.
And I had been flying back and forth to Maine, and all the way to Maine, the kids and I were driving up. There were tons of rainbows, and we said, "That's the sign of Grandma," because she just had so much joy. My mother had a lot of joy, and
Yeah.
everybody loved her. And so
Mhm.
Harry was there, and everybody had left. I don't know, they went down to my sister's or something. And I
Mhm.
sat on the couch where my mom died, and I looked up and said, "Harry, you must have seen her die." I said this to Harry.
Right.
And I just started crying and crying and crying. And then all of a sudden I looked at him and I said, "Harry, you're so handsome." I realized I was his same age. He wasn't the older sea captain. So now I'm his cougar.
Beautiful.
But these are the stories. These are the stories of death and dying, that there can be joy around death as
Yeah.
well. There can be,
That's
because the
right.
stories shared of our people that have
Mhm.
died are so precious. And my father's death, there were so many young men that came to my father's death. And,
Mhm.
my parents got divorced at a pretty young age. I was 10.
Mhm. Oh.
He married, 2 other times, my father.
Mhm.
And I was with him. I don't know. He had 6 types of cancer. My father was so strong, so strong. He just kept living.
Wow.
And it was 76 when he had his first cancer, and he didn't die till 99. So you can imagine.
23 years of grace.
Yeah,
God
yeah,
with all the
all
cancers.
different types of cancer. So we kept thinking he was going to die, but he would never die. So, but it was so funny because all these young men showed up, and they all said thank you to my father.
Wow.
And
Mhm.
they said he was one of these men that taught us everything about life.
Wow.
And
Wow.
my son was 10 at one point. We went up to visit because, again, we thought he was going to die. So we went to the visit,
Right.
and we
Yeah.
sat at his feet, and my dad was in the chair above us. And, I just was massaging his feet, maybe, or I don't remember. And
Mhm.
my son and I left, and he said, "Mom, he's like a chief. He's like very wise." He said, "All I want to do is listen." And I kind of started crying because it was like, that's what my dad was for me. He was like an
Mhm.
Indian chief. He taught me so many spiritual things, and
Yeah.
he was very powerful. And so both my parents had very young people in their lives that were very loved. They were very well loved. And Gail, my friend Gail, is very loved by so many people. I was so like blessed
Mhm.
to be part of this process because the group that got started and the fundraiser, because she's trying to do alternative and do Western. And, I've been a bridge of East and West medicine for many, many clients. And
Right.
I just felt like her presence has been big, and it's been a large presence, and it's been a beautiful presence. And
Wow.
can we be on a virtual death and dying? And I heard from 2 different people yesterday that they had funerals that were virtual, and they said they were some of the most beautiful funerals.
Mhm.
It's just
Mhm.
like so powerful.
Yeah.
So powerful that
Yeah.
You know, that
Powerful.
that idea of timeless is this extraordinary lives of people. We have extraordinary lives. We just have extraordinary lives, and there's no greater gift than to be as present as we are. You know, the Torch family welcomes any of you, but Pravin and I are very welcoming to all of us in the Torch family. We don't have any hold, or we don't. It's just free. It's a free society, and there's no like. It's just kind of free, and I love that about the Torch family. I love that I can let go and just know that it's gonna be held spiritually, and I feel like that's the gift of what this life and living and the care and compassion for each other. And when we have care and compassion for each other, when we open ourselves to that care and compassion, it's when we start to control life. It doesn't work. It doesn't work. It doesn't work. And so it's a beautiful gift. I would love some things to be different in my life. And it's when I hang on, it's when it's the same thing when a person dies, when they hang on and they're so afraid of death. And it has to be talked about so much more, about not hanging on. It's okay to let go. There's so many stories out there. There's so many stories. And there was another posting on Gail's website that somebody posted, and it was so powerful. And it was about a woman that had 4th stage cancer, and she went into a coma. And during the coma, she was above her body.
Wow.
And I've been very much present to many ghosts after they've died, and including my mom. I have a big story there, but she shared about being able to see her husband with the doctor out in the parking lot, and saying, your wife's going to die. There's no coming back now, because she was in a coma for many days. So she had this 4th stage cancer and everything. Well, she came back to tell these stories to all of them, and they were shocked. It was like, and all of her cancer was gone within a week.
Wow.
It's like, wow. These are the stories that doctors and nurses hear also. So there is a presence. I felt it with my cat. He really gave the veterinarians a really hard time to die. And he said he is so strong. And I said, I know, spiritually, he's so strong. But he'd been throwing up for like a year, and he was losing weight. And every time for the last 2 weeks, he was really suffering every time he threw up. And I knew I had to do it. And it was all of a sudden this God moment. It was like, you're going to put the cat down. And I was in the middle of a move. I said, God, what are you talking about? I've got things to do. No, it's time for him to be put to sleep. And so I called my daughter, was her cat. And I said, no, I think it's time. I want to wait till you come, because she comes home on the 17th. I can't wait to see her. I'm going to start crying. But she said, I know, Mom, he's been really sick. And I said, it's really hard. Well, all of a sudden, a big deer with big antlers crosses my path in the middle. And in Native American, that means fearlessness, having fearlessness. And so dying is this fearless moment. It's a fearless, I had to be fearless to take him to the vets. I had to be fearless to say, who am I to call God? Who am I? Animals, it's hard because, it's just challenging.
But see, Mama Lynn, when we go to cemetery, and our close one, let's say, went to God, So during that time, yes, we feel this vibrations. Oh my God, what is life? Yeah, death is the ultimate truth. Why don't we become more spiritual? Or why don't people understand? Why they are like involved in like physicality of the lives? So they don't have chance or time to think about like eternal life or life after death and like that.
Yeah.
But have these emotions all the time, even though this kind of death or death related closeness we see the relatives, not at that time, even though during happiness time, if we remember these feelings, the one what you're
Mhm.
going through right now, then that's it,
Mhm.
then that's it. Because yes, right now, you lost your care, right now your friend is on deathbed, so definitely those feelings of about like life after death, and spirituality vibes, and like why we are so involved that's normal, you know what I mean, right? But have this kind of feelings. I know you are the spiritual person, so I'm talking to you, but not putting you. I'm putting you on the spot, but I know you're the spiritual person. So even though like you've been through not in even happiness time, also you remember God. I know that you person for like for like so many years, 4+ years. So yes, but generally I'm talking about while talking like yes, everybody's life this kind of situation comes. Like down moment comes. You are in like you see like your loved ones, your father or mother or close ones, and they are on deathbed, and same thing like. But see, even though like after those moments, of course you feel spiritual, you feel like started to thinking more about eternal life, like Buddha. If Buddha saw this one in one day, all these experiences, and Buddha might have forget too, but Buddha didn't forget. Even though his father made him married, got son and everything, but still Buddha was into that moment all the time. Even though he saw this dead body, he saw that sick person, he saw that old person one day, one time in his whole life, in the up to 29 years. But even though after seeing once, he started soul searching. So same thing, this kind of experiences when we see life use this kind of lemons through the lemons at you one after another. Sometimes like in the very limited time, life is keep throwing, and pushing, and like testing us like how much can you take, like so yeah, but
I have
when
a really beautiful story about this woman. Maybe I shared this with you once. I'm not
yeah,
sure if I did, but there was a place where the Dalai Lama came often,
okay.
in Ithaca, New York. He came to a
Mhm.
place called Wisdom's Goldenrod. He still comes to Ithaca. There's a big Tibetan
Wow.
following in Ithaca, and it was due to this couple that started Wisdom's Goldenrod.
Mm.
And the woman that was married to the husband, that started this, the couple, all of a sudden one day, it was only out there maybe 5 times prior to this. All of a sudden I got this really deep call. You're going to go to Wisdom's Goldenrod. I was like, okay, what are you talking about? It's a good 40 minutes from my house. I think I was downtown. No, stop everything and go to Wisdom's Goldenrod. I was like, what is this about? But it was so strong. I said, okay, I'm going. Okay, okay. So I drive out there, and sure enough, I get there, and there's a lot of people, and I'm like, I wonder what's going on. And they said she was dying. You know, this woman
Mm.
was dying.
Oh.
So I walked in, and she said, "Oh my gosh, you're here." And I said, "Yes, I'm here." I said, "It's so nice to see you." I didn't know her that well. I
Uh-huh.
But we knew each other spiritually. You know how you know
Oh,
each other
yes,
spiritually?
yes,
You
yes.
see somebody and you know,
Mhm,
you know, you
mhm.
know, you know.
Yes,
And we'd
yes.
see each other at Green Star, and which was our co-op where we'd shop. And I probably saw her maybe 3 months prior, or maybe a little longer. Anyway, oh my gosh, you're here and you will be able to see the angels. You can see the angels with me. You can see the angels. Thank God you came. I wanted someone to see the beauty that I'm seeing, the beautiful angels. And sure enough, there's angels above her head, and she's present with her
Wow.
dying. And I just gave her a hug, and I said, "It's so good to be with you in this process, and God bless you." And so then I leave, because, it was only a course of maybe 5 or 10 minutes,
I
because,
see.
she was in the end of her life, and she died
Mhm.
within 2 hours of that.
Oh, cool.
Yeah, she died within 2 hours of that. So, but what happened is, they said you should go over to the chapel, or whatever, the main room. And they said there's a man from India there. This is why I wanted to share this story with you. And I said,
Really?
okay, I'd love to come. I'll go over. And so she, um, they told me to go over, and he, he's an Indian guru, and he's here chanting, and they know each other well, and the community knows him well, and I had never known him.
Mm-hmm.
And sure enough, there's this moment. I walk in and I sit down, and of course I'm right with his disciples and him, like I was within feet
Oh,
of him.
yes. Oh, yes.
And I sat down and I started chanting, and I remembered every Hindu chant. and
Wow.
and they were like, "Who is she? What is she doing?" And every chant, I'm chanting with them. So after, they said, "We want to spend time with you." So they came to my house the next day for big dinner. I
Oh, wow.
invited them. And then year after year, they came back to my home for 3 years.
Wow.
He came and did prayers, because at that point I had the Stone Garden for World Peace, and it was in Freeville. And so for 3 years before, I left that home, he would come, and I always said, I don't know. I just remembered all these chants. I remembered all the Tibetan chants. But the Tibetan, if I go in the Tibetan chant room, I remember getting stabbed in the back. So it's
Really?
very traumatic, very traumatic. It's like a very short time that maybe reincarnation happened for me, but very intense time for me to be around Tibetan. But I remember all the chants, you know.
Wow.
So I do need to go to Nepal. I feel
Yeah.
very called to go to Nepal. And,
Mm-hmm.
the
It's
Minister
very
of Peace
spiritual.
wants us to come for Torch. So we really want to
Yeah.
start traveling, hopefully, if COVID lightens up. But it's really powerful to be around these stories today. And what is the care and compassion for each other? What is it that's going to help us to be that now for each other,
Mm-hmm.
in the now, in the present moment of now, in the timelessness of now,
Mm-hmm.
in the kindness of now, in the compassion, of now. It's so
Yeah.
important.
It is
It's
so important. Yeah. See,
yeah,
COVID gave also lots of blessings to us. COVID took millions of lives, I
yeah,
totally,
yeah, yeah.
yeah. But see, COVID gives us time to think about who are you, what are you doing, where will you go, have some soul search, deep dive within, like enough is enough, like, searching happiness outside. Happiness is within us. Happiness is within us. If we deep dive, and give time to find ourselves, because
Mm-hmm.
whatever the faith we believe is within us, because our body is like the temple, but we misuse our body so much, so much, so much. The God within us is suffocating. God, Allah, Jesus, whatever the faith we believe is within us, but
Mm-hmm.
suffocating because, yeah, but still, when we go to sleep, makes us wake up, right? That's a small death right there. Every day when you wake up, be grateful because, you came alive from death. Maybe death of 4 hours, 5 or 10 hours, or how many hours you slept. That was death. Where were you? Right now, I say this is my right hand. I say this is my left ear. But when in the sleep, I forget my right hand. I forget my left ear. I was not. It was not me. Then who are we? Who am I in my sleep? Who is
Mm-hmm.
it? What, right? So, if
Mm-hmm.
we go into attitude of gratitude, and if you, yeah, soul search, yeah, you will get answers. Yeah, it's not. You might not get answers overnight. Sometimes, you gotta. Um, Go with your karma, your awakening, and you have to go through your journey. But if you keep asking, keep perseverance, definitely you will get your answer. So, again, thank you so much, Mama Lynn. I love this topic, is very dear and close to me. And as soon as you mentioned, I said, okay, yes, we can chat in personal, but like, why not we share? So, we might touch somebody,
Thank you all. Yeah,
Yeah,
I hope it touches any of you out there, and
absolutely.
especially Gail. We're thinking of you. We're praying for you,
Oh yeah, Gail, you are in
uh,
our prayer, and Gail, you'll be
in the
fine. You'll be
community.
fine. Yeah. Like my grandmother. Oh my God, let me tell you my real story of my grandmother. My grandmother
Okay,
is
one more
95.
story here. One more story, and then
Yeah,
I
one
have
more
to go
story, and
to.
this is the final one. Okay, this is the final one. Yes, my grandmother is 95. 95. Like about 2 weeks ago, we got a conference call with family, and they said, okay, see, our grandmother is on deathbed, about to leave. So everybody pray, and tomorrow is the first nights of the 7 nights of Navaratri. So let's play God take our grandmother on that first night. So it's a first night is it's a holy. If somebody live that life, on that first night, it's holy. So everybody was praying and everything, and my grandmother left eating, only bedridden, and like, yeah, mother was very strong. And then after 2 3 days, we see the picture in our family WhatsApp, like, drinking, drinking water and milk, and eating spices too, and everything. I mean, like, so here we are, everybody are paying like 2 days, 3 days before, and right now, like, nobody says, like, 3 days ago, my grandmother was on deathbed, like, so such a tragic people were, the same thing happened with my grandmother when she was like about 80 or something, about 15 years ago. God dang you, death on her deathbed, and she decided the desire to donate her own body. So that must, she said she's also gone to that what she thought. And then again, after 15 years, again deathbed came, and again, like, yeah, again, like, like started walking, and yeah, so life
Let's
is it.
live life. Let's
Yeah,
live
so
life.
till towards when we take the last breath, we shouldn't lose our hope. We keep fighting the fight. And life is not easy, definitely. But you gotta go through your life. I gotta go through my life. But then share your experiences, share your vulnerability, because somebody, some other part of the world is waiting for this message. Like yesterday, while I was running, a guy called me. He said, "Oh, I'm depressed." He said, "I lost my job. I'm depressed, and I need money." I know, here is can I send you my account number? I said, buddy, I teach how to fish. I don't give fish. So he goes like, I'm going to suicide. If you don't pay me money, if you don't give me money, I'm going to do suicide. I'm like, man, how can I tackle this guy? I'm running, 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 and like that. And I said, okay, I find out he's from Larkana, Pakistan. So I made him connected with E. Haq Sumro from Larkana. I know him nicely too. He planted like the celebrity guru in Rihanna Lawala in Larkana. So I made a group of himself, myself, and E. Haq Sumro. And also after that also he got mad at me, that was like, oh, why did you make a group, and why did you share my feelings with somebody? I said, man, you are about to suicide, man, connect a doctor psychologist, and of course to help you out, because he's the mayor or around that area, so yeah. So but people are people, and like, yeah, so these are small story. I do my best, but again, like, whatever the time is comes to go, doesn't matter. If God's father, he or she has to go, doesn't matter. God father, mother. So if God's father's got mm, like Lord Rama's father mm, got a curse that, you are going to die without your sons to, front of you. And then
Hmm.
same thing happened, even though Lord Rama's father has four beautiful sons, and still Lord Rama's father died without any presence of any of his four of his sons. So yeah, whenever you
Hmm.
last day trying to take last breath, doesn't matter
So
wherever you
send
are,
you
wherever
all
you stand.
beautiful care about you a lot.
Yeah, so keep living, start living, and find out this
Yeah,
death
totally
is a
be
beautiful
present with
celebration.
yourself.
Absolutely, absolutely. Oh, Elizabeth just joined all the way from
Yeah,
USA. Elizabeth,
live
you gotta
fully.
find.
Live
We are
fully.
towards the end of our
Thanks, Elizabeth.
conversation, but you will love this conversation. Love you too. Love you too, Elizabeth. Yeah. Thank you so much, Mama Lynn, for
God
having me,
bless
and thank you
you.
so much for coming up with amazing topic. The art of living and dying. Wow, wow. Believe in your wildest dreams. Don't look anybody's
God
to
bless
your
you.
just do it now. If Trump can win, so can you. You're the celebrity day. You're the celebrity life. You are the celebrity. Thank you so much, Mama Lynn, Torch Queen, and join
Blessings.
guys. Guys, join Torch, man. Torch is like the organization realizing change in humanity. Torch, we have amazing four pillars: health, wealth, environment, and technology. And whatever is your niche,
And we have a big
join.
torch house. Yeah, torch house. I'll look at my window. Torch
Absolutely.
Health Weekend and others. And if you can be a speaker, please let us know. We have you. Yeah, it's about sitting around a table, and just like today, it's about dying and community around. So we should have a death and dying section.
Okay, take care, Mama Lynn. Thank you so much for having me. God bless you. Hello, my celebrities. Send lots of hearts out, like and share it because you are caring.